Okay.
Okay, gentlemen, kompleto na ni sila, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so good afternoon, gentlemen. I am Miss Kay. I will sit as chair of the oral defense this afternoon. I'll be giving you and the panel members, I and the panel members will be giving you 15 minutes to present the result of your study and reserve the other time to ask for us to ask questions and provide feedback on your work. Né? Okay, so the other panel of examiners with me are research professors Dr. Pearl Ranido.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
And basic ed instructor. Also, we have Dr. Daryl Babati. Okay, so lead researcher, take over. Your 15 minutes starts now.
Let's go share screen, Mark. Makita ra, Miss?
Yes. Are you using laptop or cell phone?
Desktop, Miss.
Okay. Proceed na.
So, good day, everyone. My name is Charles Siwatin II, the lead researcher, and together with my members, the Cadet Berberio, the Cadet Bano, the Cadet Guerda, and the Cadet Guerda. So, we will be presenting research chapter 2 and 3. Title of our research is Maritime Educators, Challenges and Interventions in Online Class. So the content is statement of the problem, chapter 2, presentation, analysis, and interpretation of data, chapter 3, summary of findings, conclusion, and recommendation.
The problem. Statement of the problem. This study was aimed to identify the challenges and interventions of maritime educators in an online class from University of Cebu Maritime Education and Training Center in school year 2021 to 2022. This study specifically aims to answer the following questions. 1. What is the extent of challenges encountered by the respondents? 2. What is the extent of interventions employed by the respondents to counter the challenges? 3. Is there a significant relationship between the extent of challenges and the extent of interventions? 4. What recommendation can be proposed to the maritime educators facing these challenges in an online class? Statement of hypothesis. There is no significant relationship between the extent of challenges and interventions. Chapter 2. Presentation, Analysis, and Interpretation of Data. The chapter presents the data gathered by the researchers from the survey conducted on the maritime educators' challenges and interventions in online class. This chapter also presents the analysis and interpretation of data from the significant relationship between the extent of challenges and interventions of maritime educators in online class.
Table 1 showed the different statement in regards to the extent of challenges encountered by maritime educators. As shown above, the highest weighted mean is 3.30, which describe as greatest extent of statements 2 and 8, which states, I am challenged in teaching online because of the time zones, internet access and bandwidth, technology failures, and unique student schedules. And I am challenged in teaching online because of limited internet access due to unstable internet connection, internet speed, and insufficient data for those using mobile data. According to Coverdale-Jones 2000, most maritime educators feel challenged as gathering the class online and let alone giving structured and stimulating activities has become difficult as time zones, internet access, and bandwidth technology failures and unique student schedules are all genuine issues that online educators must deal with, which is not that simple. Furthermore, in regards of the Of the internet errors which the respondents finds challenging, according to Zhang et al. 2020 and Akbulut et al. 2020, stated that online learning systems often becomes overwhelmed and crash due to large users. Moreover, the lowest weighted mean that is shown above is 2.75, which entails a description of greater extent that pertains to the statement number 3 and 6. I am challenged in teaching online because of the lack of coordination, and I am challenged in teaching online because I have a little to no access to technology. This means that some of the maritime educators have experienced a lower rate of the lack of coordination when teaching in online class. According to Coverdale Jones 2000, even in instructor successfully brings all students to classroom simultaneously, fundamental problems such as lack of coordination and verbal cues, time lags, poor sound and visual, turnaround, and so on become significant obstacles which can be hassle. Furthermore, the table obtained an aggregated mean of 3.04 that describes the extent of challenges encountered by maritime educators as greater extent. Maritime educators face many challenges in an online class as teaching in distance learning can make students feel isolated. Online courses are also prone to technical issues affecting students' performances and class participation.
Table 2 show the extent of interventions employed by maritime educators. The highest rate is 3.85, which refers to the statement to the challenges I experience online. I teach my students through visual presentations. That describes as greatest extent. Most maritime educators prefer visual presentations while teaching online since it is critical to understand students' learning styles in order to achieve the greatest learning outcomes. The learning styles of online students can be ambiguous, which has ramifications for how academics construct learning materials. Some students prefer to learn by engaging in others, while others learn through visual presentations, especially in an online environment. Moreover, the lowest weighted mean shown above is 3.40, which is the statement 1 stating that with the challenges I experience online, I employ effective instructor and student communication, which is described as greatest extent. Maritime educators employ less of this matter as it requires timely, transparent interactions in various modalities. Although online classes can be difficult for maritime educators, there are ways to mitigate and overcome these difficulties. In online learning environments, effective instructor student communication requires timely and transparent interaction in various modalities. Furthermore, the table obtained an aggregated mean of 3.67, which is described as the greatest extent. Maritime educators can overcome challenges in distance education by gaining online experience as experiential learning, also known as active involving learning, learning by doing, or interactive learning, rather than passively acquiring knowledge. It requires pupils to actively participate in the learning process.
Since d computed, which is 1.834, is lesser than the critical value, which 2.101, the decision is to not reject the null hypothesis. Therefore, there is no significant relationship between the extent of challenges and extent of interventions encountered and employed by the maritime educators. It is noted that there is no significant relationship between the two variables, which means the challenges of maritime educators face in an online class doesn't have anything to do with the interventions being employed in teaching online. Since challenges in online learning discourses about the technology and equipment being used thus affects the maritime educators' teachings, and according to Coverdale Jones 2000, in a virtual classroom, synchronous online education is troublesome. The truth is that gathering the class online, let alone giving structured lectures and stimulating learning activities, is becoming increasingly difficult. Time zones, internet access, and bandwidths, technology failures, and unique student schedules, work versus study, are all genuine issues that online educators must deal with. Therefore, interventions in an online class is a different matter in terms of the lack of equipment and the requirement each educator has.
Chapter 3 Summary of Findings, Conclusion, and Recommendation. This chapter presents the summary of findings based on the data gathered in the statistical treatment and the draft conclusion and the recommendation proposed by the researchers about the maritime educators' challenges and intervention in online class.
Findings. Based on the presentation, analysis, and interpretation of data, the following findings are arrived at. Number one, majority of the respondents have shown greatest extent in the challenges they encountered in online class. Number two, majority of the respondents have shown greatest extent in the interventions in countering the challenges. Number three, there is no significant relationship between the extent of challenges and the extent of interventions.
Conclusion. The study that is conducted found out that there is no significant relationship between the extent of challenges and intervention in teaching online class. The researchers conclude that the respondents encountered challenges in teaching online because of the time zone, internet access and bandwidth, technology failure, and unique student schedules. Not only that, another reason is that the respondents have limited access due to the unstable internet connection, internet speed, and insufficient data for those using mobile data. As stated by Jack Mezzero 2000, the transformative learning theory is the process of learning begins with an encounter that leads to a perplexing predicament. The researchers also discovered that the respondents use visual presentation in teaching online as it expresses ideas about some matters while using visual aids such as visual multimedia and in order for the teachers to educate their students effectively. As students can learn visually according to the information processing theory by George Miller stating that learning changes the knowledge stored by an individual memory. Information processing analyzes a fixed pattern of how the human mind learns something new.
Recommendations. Based on the findings of the study and conclusion drawn, the following recommendations were promulgated. Number one, maritime educators should establish norms as students move to this method of learning. Teachers can discuss with them the norms that support effective learning. This might include discussing topics such as appropriate attire, when to mute and unmute, when to use chat, raising your hand to contribute, using backgrounds, and what to do when classes are recorded. What Number two, when maritime educators are teaching, they should develop meaningful relationship with among students. When teaching online, this is as or even more important. Consider incorporating tools and techniques that help you and your students connect.
Number three, maritime educators should let their students know what to expect of them and how they can meet those expectations. It is important to add this to their syllabus. But students will appreciate being reminded of the expectation within the course. Consider adding discussion etiquette, guidelines to discussion forums, or being specific about the attendance requirements before a virtual class meeting. Number four, maritime educators should send out homework's due date as a reminder for each assignment. They can use Blackboard as
Okay.
an announcements.
Okay. Just stop from here because you're giving so much recommendations that are not found in your instrument. Are those items in your instrument, in your checklist? Wala na?
Wala. Yes.
Oh, so inyo unta nang gi-appeal sa inyong instrument para kung nilugwa na siya mo na inyong i-recommend. Kunya kay wala man na. So nganong mo recommend man mo something nga wala sa inyong study? Okay, so let's just cut from there. Is that the last slide? Okay, so let's go to your manuscript. Kindly share your manuscript. Manuscript darlings katong naa sa inyong Google Drive.
Do you have the copy?
Wait, sama.
Yes, ma'am.
Sige, sige.
Gibutang gid ang mga panelist no, di gyud masayop ni og edit.
Yes, kay doon ta sa isay na ni.
Okay, so first up, diha ta abstract na. So this study is already done, so definitely mo gamit na gid mo og absolute past tense. No? The study focused on the study identified all right, so ganun gabalik-balik man yung first sentence ug second sentence. Okay, so what's the purpose of the study and what was the methodology? What type of study is this? Is this a correlation study? Is this a survey, a comparative study? How many respondents did you have? I mean, who are your respondents? How many respondents did you have? And what is the type of instrument that did you use? Naa diha tanan nga details sa first paragraph ug second paragraph? Wala, no?
Sa instrument, miss. Ay, sa abstract.
Yes.
All.
Wala. So all of those information should be there.
Yes,
Huh?
miss.
And then the findings. What did you find out in your study? Is there a significant relationship or is there none?
There is none.
There is no significant relationship between the challenges and the interventions employed. So at least na siya sa last sentence. And what is your recommendation? Since there is no significant relationship, what is your if you are going to give a one sound recommendation, what would that be? Okay, so again, first paragraph should be, what is the purpose of your study? Second paragraph should contain, the methodology, the research respondents, how many respondents, what type of instrument, and what is the sampling method? How did you choose your respondents? And then, what is the type of instrument? Is it researcher made or is it standardized? Okay, or is it modified, standardized? Okay, so let's proceed. What is your primary theory?
The normative.
Transformative learning theory. So if you're going to simply explain to me what is transformative learning theory and how does this connect to your study?
Kuan, miss, kanang transformative learning, miss, kanang mo adapt gani ang mga example students, for example, from face-to-face to online. Mo transform mo.
Kiwa ko kasabot. Okay, connect transformative learning to your SOP. Can you go to your SOP? How does transformative learning connect to the challenges and interventions?
the transformative learning theory is a process of learning that begins with encounter, which leads to perplexing predicament. So, with the challenges, with the challenges the educator facing online, it gives them kanang interventions, like what to do to count into countering those challenges, so that educators are learning learning and adapting.
So si educators day ang target sa inyong study nga mo transform dili si student.
Uh, May ang student of educators are this.
But you cannot have two respondents in your study. So who's your respondent in your study?
Educators, miss.
Educators, miss.
So si educator ang inyong target nga ma-transform. Kay
Transforming
Kay according to transformative learning, what?
Kanang kay kalit-kalit naman ang face-to-face ay ang online class, kanang they are maybe driven to kanang mag-online, then murag kuan bag-ora kayo sa kuan makay not all maritime educators begin teach have experience teaching in online class, so
what's your worry?
Our worry, miss, is kanang online class can be challenging to maritime educators because of the reason that katong mga internet connections, mga lack of access to technology. So it is hard to teach this, especially the laboratories.
Okay. I mean, I would wish to ask you so many questions about that because I'm not fairly convinced. But most of the questions would be about your chapter 1, no? If that's how you reason to me, if this is proposal hearing, di gud ka mo pasar.
Yes, miss.
But anyway, ni pasar man mo sa inyong proposal hearing, I don't know how. No, with that kind of reasoning, so let's just go ahead. No? I was wondering, anong mag-measure man ka sa extent sa challenges encountered, right? Or extent of interventions employed. Although I understand, no? I know unsay mga rason jud ani, but I cannot hear it from you or any one of you for that matter. Unsa gyud underlying reason nga kinahanglan mo mag-investigate any extent challenges and extent of interventions. But anyway, let's go ahead with your chapter 2. Next. Lower. No, hypothesis, please. No, your hypothesis says you are using alternative hypothesis. Since this is a quantitative study, we should be using null hypothesis. So there is no significant. No, so this should be HO. There is no significant relationship between the extent of the challenges and interventions employed by the maritime instructors. No? So there is no significant relationship. HO, there is no significant relationship. All right, let's move forward. Forward. Lower, lower. Ano na i-highlight?
Environment daw.
You should connect your environment to the study. Na? Unsay naa sa mambalingan nung nag-conduct man mo og ani? Unsay significance sa inyong study sa UC Mambaling? Unsay connection?
One is maritime educators are found in UC MATC, miss. And for the reason that they conduct laboratories in UC MATC.
No, i-improve pa dong pangitai pa og mas lawom nga rason.
Oh yes, miss.
Siyempre, kay maritime school man ta, di maritime teachers gid pud ang naa niya. Unsa man di ay. Pero the point there is, why conduct this study there? No? Naman po ilaing maritime school. Yang anong sa UC man? No? And convenience is not a reason. You have to find something more significant than that. All right. Now, my next question. Nganong 20 ra kabuok ang inyong respondents?
Pang pilot test naman ng 20, uy.
It is 23 po.
Ha?
Based naman mi sa kanang gihatag ani nga email sa HR, miss. Manang kung pila ka buok email gihatag dito, mawar sa damong ikuan. Isendan og mga survey.
But there are over 300 instructors in MTC.
Focus man mi sa mga maritime educators.
Yes, pero there are over 100 maritime teachers in MTC.
Ma'am, if I may speak, I think their intention for this, ilarang gi-focus ang sa college. Am I right?
Yes.
Watin? Yes, the college department, and I think Gen Ed is not even included in the respondents. So basically, their focus is more on the professional instructors.
100 man ka-pin. So, 30 ka-pin ang sa Gen Ed. So, naay mga...
Pero mga kuan, mga 200, 300, mga naman sa MPC.
Kumuni siyang nganong 20 ra.
Can you still remember the discussion during the proposal hearing? Why is it like this?
Yes, miss. Ang giingon sa panelist last kay mga tagog letter sa HR niya. Other than the letter, mangayo sa loob koan kanang email sa all of the maritime educators. Nya among na-receive miss kay around 2024 ra. Nya.
Okay, but sa letter ninyo, I mean, coming from the HR itself, how many was it?
From the letter, miss?
Oh, ang gikan sa HR, pila ka emails ang nahatag? 20 ka pin ra? Or more than this?
24, miss.
24.
Kung nangayo mo total population ba pilay gi-response sa HR nga total population sa maritime instructors?
Ni-email naman sila mga Gmail sa maritime educators, miss.
Did you include that in your appendices?
Ang what, miss?
Nga proof nga 20 ra gyud ang lang gihatag?
Wala ko, miss.
Wala may naka-indicate na ma'am.
Because it could be nga ang gihatag nila nga email address is 20 ra ka buok. Pero ang total population is more than 20.
Yeah, I agree.
Kay imposible man gyud ng 20 ra kay ako, kami taga Bambaling, biya gyud mi kay baw pud may pila nakabuka uban namo oy. Imposible yun ng 20 ka buok kinsa ra man nila.
Dili ang ako lang sa
mabilin.
If 20 ka book ang gihatag ra, unsa nila pag sure nga katong 20 ni respond jud.
Oo.
Ano man sila kung if daghan.
Ma'am, 30 dito ang kanom 30 plus ang gihatag nga Gmail.
Bisan na murag dili ra gyapon mada sa kuan, no? Pero I think the agreement was with the kuan man, no, during the PH. Wala man sa tukabot og 50 during the proposal hearing. Musad siguro gyud na ma'am nga ang napangayo nila ingon enough ra pud sa ilang study. Kaya wala man sa mention ang total number of kuan respondents.
Oo. Pero if this is a quantitative study, nag-survey ra man gud sila, ang minimum gud ana nga requirement which will lead me to the next question. Kinsay ni compute ninyo nga statistician nganong gi-compute man nga wala man kabot og 30?
Gapa-compute among stat, miss, kay si Miss Ibaof.
How did she compute it nga ang minimum requirement for statistical treatment kung quantitative is 30? Yung man ikabot og 30. Moto ang kadungog mo sa reaction ganiya ni Miss Pearl. Unsa man ni kanang qualitative?
Correct. Ang quality 20 ra man. So, ma'am, unsa man imong kuan ani kanang suggestion na mo ani nga ma-improve ni namo among kuan kaning parts or respondents? Do we need to go back to kuan gathering?
No, kuan na lang Doki, no? Ilan na lang i-mention sa ilang recommendation that they need more respondents to, of course, have a more valid result.
Oh, sige, Doc.
Ano pa yung time?
Recommendation.
No, and then you have to mention also the reason why you did not able to reach the number of respondents. Anak na lang. Kaya wala may time.
I-declare na lang yun na siya diri sa inyong respondents dong nga with the amount of time that you were given niya mo ni siya ang kanang mura ni siya ang ning kuan na inyong na-gather nga data. So let me go back now. When did you start gathering your data?
It was around maybe May 10.
Okay. Mo gina siya problema. Ni factor ang inyong time frame. Kung sa klaro pa lang karon no, kung tininood man ni siya no, kanang your study is a failure because you did not give yourself enough time to gather data. You should be giving yourself about 2 to 3 months to gather data. Ang normal nga data gathering is 2 to 3 months. But you only give yourself 1 week to gather data, so dili gyud na ninyo ma-meet ang yung target requirement. So mo ning wala gyud ni nasakto ang inyong data. Kay wala man gyud mo Kay di man gyud mo kakuhaan na niya. Professors pag gyud ang inyong gikuhaan og data niya. Dugay biya gyud na, no? Mang reply. You have to provide your respondents enough time.
Yes, ma'am.
So, mo na siya. Na?
Pero ma'am, if that's the case, ma'am ba, I would totally agree with you, no, nga, naagay problem sa ilang gathering. But since we have, kuan pa man ma'am, time, can we, change? No, mas
Well,
mapuno lang na mo ang kuan. Anyway, sa kuan man po sa mga instructors, so they need to go back to the HR and ask for the email address, and then probably they will not only focus on the professional instructors but also other instructors as well.
basig usara ni ka department po nilang ipangayo mamo ning mura po
Oo,
ilang
na,
ko.
oo.
Duda ko usara ni ka department basig empty ra ni or mari.
Mausad akong tanaw, Miss K.
No.
Usawa ni ka department.
Oh.
But the problem mo po good, ma'am Annie, if my researchers, no, or co-researchers will provide emails man good, majority ba ya sa mga respondents po, ma'am, dili ba po mo reply, which is mo po kanang nakapait. So,
By the way, naglaboratory na mo karon? Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Oh. So adtuan ninyo inyong mga professors. Face to face.
kuan ang approach, na-change ang approach.
Oh, i-follow up ninyo siya kanang kuan. Ang yuan ninyo nga kuan. Or pwede na lang kamo na lang mo printahin ninyo og katong actual unya kamo mo encode on their behalf na lang. Ana ba kay mas mutubag man na gud ganamos tubangan.
Mura mo agree ko ana.
Oh, kay nag face to face naman mo. Kay kung iinyo nang i-email, dugay gyud dino na kay pwede ra man gyud na i-ignore good. Whereas kung
nasa spam.
Correct. Ako kay naabitaw jud ko ikat ng mga uban nga like na ako'y tulo ka incidents nga kanang dugay nakakuha og ERB kay tuwa sa spam. Wa jud ko kahibaw nga kuan. Kung wala nag-follow up ako kahibaw nga, uy, naaday mo i-submission.
Oh, correct.
So,
Ako mo na lang i-replicate, mamay.
i-replicate na lang
Maluwin
nimo.
sa nila, mamay. Ako rin mo take responsibility, ani. Wala sa din ako nakuan, kanang nag-over ang number of respondents, kay kuan naman pa nilang result. And then, sa akong of all na ko nga mga groups, paspas ba yan nilang kuan, under ni Ms. Lo. So, I was even really thinking nga sila gani una. So, sa jud ko kabasa po dani nga part nga 20 ra.
Dugay sila nag-gather og data.
Ma'am, nagkuha na sila, nag-tabulate na. Pero wala ko na-check ang number of respondents. Ako lang niya, replicate po naman.
Ibut mo na lang to katong gikuan ni Ma'am.
Sa recommendation.
Ibutang sa recommendations niya, i-declare na diha sa inyong respondents. Appeal na sa inyong recommendations to gather data early. Na?
Correct.
Kay taas na kayo mong confidence level ba nga sa inyong time frame magihata nga inyong budget, people will be available niya mo respond niya. Reality is diwa.
But on the other way around, tamang ba, if they chose kuha na lang students, mas dali pa siguro to, no?
Yes, correct. Gamay ra gud kayo ilang kinahanglanon nga data. So part gid unta na siya sa budgeting ninyo do nga ang challenge ba sa quality sa type sa inyong respondents. Unya, di gid man ubag ani mga panahon na yung deadline bitas grado day.
Correct. Napatay memo also.
Explain in writing pagalita.
O para ba ito na ko nakuha?
Oy,
Uy,
disciplinary.
kuhaan na to kay 3 days rabaya mo ay gihatag nga kuan.
3 days yung sound ni nako kong groups. Biyaan ko ni.
Upon receiving.
Biyaan ko ni akong grupo.
Maulagin na. Wala na ako gahapon ko. Adto ko gahapon.
Wala gina.
Warden ko ani.
Tagod-tagoron na to niya itong mga lawas no sa kadagan natong trabaho.
Correct. Ako na naman yung fast eh.
Ako gigahapon pamansag ko. Alright?
Lunes
Okay.
na ba?
Sige, next. Dongdong. Forward ta. Okay, so researcher made. Who validated your instrument?
Si Miss Suico. Arlie May Suico, Miss.
So content validity. What about the pilot testing? The reliability?
Si Miss Ibaok yapon, ma'am.
Were there any changes in your instrument based on the content validity and the reliability tests?
Wala raman, Miss.
Wala ra? Sige, move forward ta. Kasi dapat na Okay. So dapat na tanawa inyo ang item 2 and item 8 nga nagpareho og rank. Do you notice anything wrong in your item 2 and 8?
Class of rank, Miss.
Basaha ko no, ug unsay sulod sa inyong number 2 ug number 8.
Same review.
Karon pa mo kabantay nga pareho ra sila sulod mo nang nag-rank, it's a tie.
Bitaw, tayo jud.
It's a tie kay pareho ra man siya sulod.
Aray, under content.
Paraphrase ang isa.
Or tangtangon na, say for example, nganong daghan man kay nag time zone og internet access. Time zone is different from internet access. So perhaps number 2 is time zone and number 8 is internet speed or internet. No? So internet, in closing parentheses, speed, bandwidth, something like that. Pero tungod kay naglibog naman gyud ta kung unsa gyud tinuod ani, I think tangtangon na lang gyud nang usa diha. Kay ako nga respondent nga nagbasa ani pareho ra gyud na parang ang duha para nako.
Sige. So, tangtangan ang 8. Or sige.
Or mas lami ang 8 ang tangtangon ng 2.
Sige. Muna siya youngest o eldest.
Identical twins. Fraternal siguro na sila.
So, bali, mag-change na ang aggregate, di ba?
Pero mura gyapon ang result. Pareho ra man po sa ranking.
Tayo naman po sila.
So, wag yun mo kabantayan ng tie?
Nakatis mi nga tayo, Miss, pero
Wag mo kabantay sa sunod.
mga content.
SF10 form. Ito bang butangag kinsay katong na ay amount na advisor niya ano yung amount.
Okay. Wag na yung nag-consult ni Miss Pearl. Okay. Lower. Sige.
SF10 man ka, form 10. SF form 10A.
Okay, so based sa result sa inyong chapter, sa inyong first table, I am challenged teaching online because of, o sana lang nakabuok, no? Because of the internet. So, walay implication. So, if your instructor is challenged in teaching online because of the limited internet access due to, so, unsa may buti pa sa butana?
Miss. They are challenged for that reason.
Uy, unsay buti pa sa but? What does it mean? What is the implication?
Tungod sa kanang limited internet access
Sa Pilipinas.
Yes, Miss.
So nganong unsay challenge si instructor sa internet connection. So that means si instructor Unsa man? He has poor internet connection or ang country has poor internet connection or internet connection is a necessity in the teaching of kuan. So, unsay may if that is the implication, pangita og literature support. No?
Yes, ma'am.
So, as we know, perhaps katong kibaw man tanong nga ang Philippines is one of the poorest when it comes to internet connectivity. Na?
Yes, ma'am.
But one of the most expensive also when it comes to internet connectivity. Like if you want better internet connection, you have to spend more. So unsa may implication ana? So either si instructor na locate siya sa lugar nga puro og internet connection or pobre si instructor dili siya ka-afford og internet connection nag-data lang. Diba?
Budget man, budget.
Budget or walay budget ang eskwelahan nga gihatag para ning instructor.
Wala, uy, naputol na gitong 250.
Oh, muna siya dong ang rason. 250 ray gihatag sa using nga pang internet budget namo mo
Oh,
nang
tinawad na. Nga nga mong binuwan kay 16, 18 or more.
2K ako oy.
Ako sa 2K ko. Mga
2-1 man ito.
2.5 ko ah.
At least ako kay 1999.
Ila to ate. Internet. 2-1 lagi.
Mahal na guro niya fiber na inyo. PLDT.
Alangan, mga ni ang mga igsuon. Connect man. Mga nagduwag MB, lag po. Bati kayo.
Fiber 10 kabok. Okay, so again, darling, inyuhang gibutang dire, inyuhang interpretation inyuhang table reading. Wala mo'y implication yan, ni diretso na dayon mo og literature support. So, maglisod man mo connect sa inyong literature support because wala man mo nihatag og implication. Okay? So, hatagi sa og implication o niya ang literature support, adto ninyo i-connect sa implication. Okay? So, muna, kataningon ta unsay possible implication ana nganong challenge si instructor sa iyang internet connection, either ang area he is located in an area with poor internet connection or he has limited budget when it comes to internet connection. Unya, based on that implication, connect dayon ka literature support muna to katong in the Philippines Kachirva bells na there are areas na selected pa gyud ang internet connection niya. Gusto man kay kag internet connection nga lami, muna siya mag-fiber ka. All right, next. So perhaps dihang dapita atong igo ng recommendation, no? Okay. Lamin kay mo in recommendation ganiya nga wa ngadto. Unsa man inyong i-recommend based on ang result? Gaan budget.
Magamit fiber.
Muna sakto nga recommendation based sa result sa inyong study.
Usara ka buhok ang i-recommend niyo dong. Budget.
Budget mo man na i-result. Na inyong ang inyong gi-recommend nga to si instructor kinahanglan mo adapt og ka-churba. Dili man mo ang findings ninyo. Inyong findings man kay naglisod siya sa internet niya inyo pa hinuong o sa inyong gusto pabalitokon pa mi ninyong teaching strategy.
Ay, ma'am.
Namogrema na internet.
Ma'am, sa recommendations mo, ma'am, sabi po din ako kay, ako mas laging nga i-connect sa significance of the study. Ako rin po inong itahod na sila na ako.
Di na i-disconnect. I-connect sa results sa significance of the study.
Hindi na ko mas comment nga nato. Ay, nako.
Ang i-connect ato sa significance of the study, kung kinsa itong mga ipang-identify nga dito, so kung may ito si teacher.
Sige, identify man tanan.
O so, i-identifay ninyo ni administrator. So, unsa ba inyo i-recommend? Administrators to propose a higher budget for internet connection.
Oh. Ano, correct.
Ano? Kay admin may mo desisyon na word. Dili mata.
Oo ni, nag-abot sa tagiya, dili man i-approve.
O at least di-propose sila dai.
Kung hindi, resign.
Dai, may na ni-propose sila kaysa wala jud.
No,
diba?
Sakto.
Oh. Kaysa meeting bitaw ni Attorney Go, he does not know what's the problem of the teachers.
Bitaw na iyang isulti, no?
So meaning ang admin dato diri mga ang mga small gods may nagfilter sa atong mga problema.
Correct ka na.
Ay, dili kay ang atong admin din magpa-good shot man yun na sila, ma'am. Di mo gina sila mo
Oy.
kuan, hatod
Good shot to the
problem
extent
sa
na kita
kuan.
sa sacrifice na.
Correct. Matay na ta diri. Okay.
Tinuod.
Okay, na nakadungog sila ay mo na mong concern ha, wa mi budget sa internet.
Yes, ma'am.
Lower. Pataka-takag recommend strong ko da.
Sorry, ma'am.
May pag-usa na lang tayo niya kibutang.
Di, lami naman po mo recommendation pero wa lang sa inyong study. Okay. Pero nabi diri repitan no, effective communication. Pero kaniyo naglibog jud ko ani mo siguro ni siya ni rank gid siya low kay ngano wa man giklaro unsay buti po ipasabot ni I employ effective instructor and student communication. Unsay buti pasabot ni ano uy.
Kanang
Duda jud ko mo ginahinungdan.
Communication between instructor and student, ma'am.
I-compare sa uban nga mga items o nga klaro jud kay siya ba specific.
Oo, correct oh.
Nagyud siya gisulti ba nga chat, email, ana.
Anong issue man nilang study ay? Inig-replicate ani ma'am, guba gini ang tool nila. Kuan man, ang result paano, nag-one seat apart ra.
Mo pag nag-bottom ba? Kaya pag nag-bottom, nga ka nang, I think, duda jud ko nga kuan. Unsa day inyong understanding ani dong? Unsa ibot niyo ipasabot? I mean, if you may clarify it to me, kay unlike kay kani sila mga communication man ni siya. Pero kaning unsay buti pasabot ng effective instructor student communication. What kind of communication man nga effective?
kanang if a student has a problem, he can openly talk to his instructor.
Mo ta na yung ibutang na nga. Open communication siguro, dili kay effective communication. Open communication. Pero kibaw mo, I feel like kung mingon pa na siya, I employ open communication, mo gid siguro niya mag-rank 1. Mausab ang result.
Awan na,
Guba.
So, ilisa na mo ni or dili na lang?
Ilis di lang, pero as is ang ilang result.
Okay. Kani.
Oo nga, I employ open communication. Open instructor-student communication. Ayun na, effective.
I employ open instructor
Student communication. Student communication.
all.
Sana all.
Closeness. Ako mas nindot na. Isod mo guning construction of kuan mo mo kaning sa researcher made ba?
Lisod oy.
Sudan ko aning apartment. Tanawat okay, ganun na
Okay, lower. Okay, so bali, the same round ni siya sakit no. Katubang wala gyud magyapoy implication. Na? Naara mo'y table reading unsay highest unya nagdiretso na dayon mong literature support niya wala implication. Again, buhati og implication. So, unsa gitoy nag-rank 1 ninyo?
Sa challenges, miss?
Di, satisfaction. Visual presentation. Okay, sakto raman to siya. Inyong table to Wala na ko ni comment anahan ni diretso na ko sa table 3. Okay. So sa table 3 ninyo, again, nagbalik-balik mo no nga, there is no significant sa to? Layuan ni mo laagan. Paabot.
Ano daw? Significance.
Abot ba nyo? There is no significant relationship between
The extent of challenges.
Okay. Which means that the challenges of maritime educators face in online class doesn't have anything, this is correct, no? Doesn't have anything to do with the interventions. Na ako pangutan na, ngano kahang wala man siya'y effect.
Knowing the reason nga na-challenge mo, ma'am, kay
Ngano kang wala siya'y effect? Man, de?
o effect ang interventions kay ang problem man sa teachers kay katong salary.
Salary man, uy.
Okay.
Anong salary man?
Nabot ang sweldo, ana.
Budget
Dili kay nga no. Okay, so there is disconnect man no. Ang sa inyong instrument 1 sa instrument 2 kay ang nigawa sa inyong instrument 1 kay internet connection ang problem. Unya, ang intervention ninyo has nothing to do with internet connectivity. Ang inyong interventions ang teaching style ni teacher. Okay? So, ang recommendation ninyo dapat, ang inyong study should be, sequential study. Kanang sequential method gali, meaning, ang paghimo ninyo nga instrument, kaning second ninyo nga instrument, extent, gi-based unta ninyo pag human ninyo conduct sa study sa table 1. Meaning, usa pa unta mo naghimo og instrument, aning number 2, paglugwa, aning result ninyo sa number 1. No? Paggawas nga internet connectivity ang problema, usa pa mo naghimo og instrument nga moigo sa internet connectivity.
Yes, ma'am.
Kay ang inyong study kay kuan man siya kanang dili man siya sequential, kanang dungan ba? No? Gidungan ninyo og conduct ang survey. Okay? So, appeal na sa inyong recommendation pohon. No, sa inyong recommendation to conduct a sequential type of study or to resurvey, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Na dapat ang extent sa interventions limited to the result of sa atong number 1 ninyo nga survey, nga internet connectivity. Kay simang man ang inyong instrument 2 sa instrument 1, wa nag-abot padong bugo ang inyong instrument usa padong Santander. Nagbuwag, split. Okay, mo nang walay relationship. Wag is like relasyon. Iyahay man. Okay?
Lain-lain ng point of view kay based sa result. Na all. Ay, madugong laban, may significance
Alright. So, next. So, ang lesson learned na to, ani Dodong, dili ta mag-study o gingon ani nga study kung ang atong survey dungan. This is only appropriate for a sequential study. No? Okay. Okay, pause ako. Chapter 3, Doc Pearl and Doc Babatid. Kamo na sad. Comment.
Okay. Ako sa una, Doc. Babatit. Unsa ni babatid?
Babatid.
The pearl.
Okay. All right. Sige, aron kuanta, mahumanta ani.
Go to your
I would like to address my question to Bano Mark. Mark.
Yes,
Hello,
ma'am.
Mark. Yes. My question, no, this is my question. So, if you would redo your research, what would you do differently?
Ma'am, I will kanang tarungon jud og tanaw if nabay mga nagkaparehas or kanang i-double check jud nako, ma'am. Ang mga kanang mga kuan jud mga small details. Para igabot na sa hinani kay matarong jud nako og percent.
So, is there any lesson learned from this
Yes, ma'am.
research that you have right now?
Yes, now ay lesson learned now.
Naa. So, other members, how about you? Any changes you would like to do if you will be given the chance to redo?
Yes, ma'am. So, about sa survey, ma'am, dapat jud mag-start o dapat na jud sakto nga oras sa pag-survey, ma'am, para dili magamay ra ang maka-answer sa survey.
Okay. Okay, thank you for that answer. How about you, Berberio?
Berberio, ma'am.
Roger?
One
Okay,
food,
my
miss.
question for you, darling, is this. What are the major issues, no, in your subject areas?
Kuan, miss. Ang issue gid, miss, if kanang during time sa mga discussion sa maestra, miss, na if sa tungkol sa bahin sa signal mawala kalit ang mga internet, miss, kung yung maputol-putol niya panag sa din balik nga nagkadalasan, miss.
And then you mentioned, di ba nga, unsay intervention. So, what are the common interventions that these teachers or instructors do?
Oh,
In
kuan,
that
miss.
case.
Magpa-load jud sila, kuan, miss, magpa-load sila para makakuan sila makabalik silang connectivity, miss, ba?
Magpa-load sila. So, are you trying to say that they're only using data?
Yes, miss, kay if mawala ang example, ang connectivity sa Wi-Fi, miss, they will kuan mamangita sila pumaagi para makatudlo sila sa amo, miss, ba? Kung di madala og kuan nga na, miss, hatag sila asynchronous activity sa mo, miss. Nga na, no.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so another question to Cuerda. Is there any significant relationship between Cuerda Mark and Cuerda Fritz? Doon mo na ini ka Cuerda diri. Okay, so si Cuerda, kinsa to ganina ang answer nako, Cuerda Fritz ba yun or Mark?
Cuerda Mark, ma'am.
Cuerda Mark. Okay, so Cuerda Fritz.
Yes, ma'am.
Why do you think your research is reliable?
Miss, because kuan, miss, ang among research, miss, kay ang main purpose din ani, miss, kay para makabalo miss sa mga kuan, miss, ba, sa mga challenges ug mga interventions, good, miss, nga kailangan sa mga kuan, miss, sa mga maritime educators, miss. Kanya kuan sa din, miss, usa sa ni sa way para ma-solve ang mga problema, miss, especially, miss, sa online class, miss. Miss.
Mm-hmm. Are you satisfied with the answer, group members? Maybe you can add more.
I think nga kung reliable ay kay when the quarantine happened, miss, na online class naman. So ang mga estudyante, di lang kaya ang mga estudyante, ang mga teachers sad kanang ga-adjust. So therefore kuan murag lisod gani makat-on niya sa pasad sa teachers nga perspective. kanang lisod sad i-teach kay tungod atong internet nga mga dili stable nya nasa yung mga students nga dili mo cooperate online.
I see.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for your answer. Kisa pa iwa na ko natawag dire? Na pa? Tingog ko.
Wala na ma'am.
Wala na, ma'am.
But I still have questions for you, no? It's up to you. Kung kinsay mo hatag og answer sa akong question. So, with that, who will be the most interested in your research? I'm talking about who can be, potentially benefit, from the research. So who will be most interested in your research?
For me,
I
ma'am, kuan,
think
ma'am.
ikaw na dyan.
For me,
Sige,
ma'am,
sige.
mga future maritime educators, ma'am, na kasi mag-handle balik og online class, ma'am, ba? Because we don't know sa panahon, ma'am, na para sa future students pud sad, ma'am, kay knowing that ingana na ang mga nahitabo makabasa sila ingana, ma'am, kana kabalo na sila ang silang himuan ba para makasabay sila sa ingana nga butang, ma'am, sa during online learning, ma'am.
Okay, so I think we have the same grievances, no? Kay not only the teachers are experiencing the problem of this internet connection. Kamo sad mas daghan pa gani ang mga students, no? Nga dagha problema. Is it right?
Yes,
Sakto
Doc.
ba?
Yes ma'am.
Oo. So they are also potentially benefit, no? This research. All right. So thank you for the answers. That's all.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am, for... Hi, good afternoon, everyone.
But the third
Good afternoon, sir.
So, as may additional input lang regarding this katong mga significant differences ninyo sa comparative statistics. So, make sure lang to give implications as what Miss K. And my question will be, as students through online education, how will you cope up with this one? Regarding, as you can see in your studies, that the teachers also lack of intervention and challenges as we speak in your research. Anyone from the group?
How to cope up with the challenges, sir?
Yes.
As students, sir, I think it is up to us to kanang mag-study jud by yourself maybe, or kung if the instructor cannot provide kanang information pero di ako kasabot, I think it is up to the students na mag-research furthermore kay there are informations online man sad except sa icon. And kanang na sir, tinabangay lang sad muasa sa other classmates.
Thank you. That's all, ma'am.
Okay, thank you guys. Okay, ba naman sa inyo pag-improve din yung recommendations now?
Yes, ma'am.
Clear naman to nga budget good mo ay kuan.
Igo.
Kinahanglan. Ang budget man
Oh, the budget and sponsor.
Diba, ang sponsor.
Kapag may ganito mo sponsor.
I'm not saying dong dili to sakto yung ipansulti sa recommendations pero di sa tamagisgot ana. Unahon sa nato ni yung budget.
And the rest will follow.
Siguro kung maklaro na among budget, maklaro na ng internet connection, then you can find out kung ba jay problema ang among mga teaching technique na okay?
Ma'am.
Kay mura man ang niingon mo nga dili man kay ba mo English si ma'am yang ano di ay nadungog dai kastingog na ako nga may klarong internet. Di ba? Magklaro kayo sa tag-signal.
Kana.
Ay, yun sa man yung pagkahibaw ko no, Beng. Huwag mo nagkaklaro din tungog. Alright. So, anyway. So, go back to your PowerPoint, your cover page, so that we can document.
Yung title page.
Managsuon ba mo dong?
Smile
Kwerda-kwerda?
mo dong.
Dili, ma'am. Siya kay taga-Oslo man siya, ma'am. Ako kay taga-Santan.
So there is no significant relationship di ay?
Hindi, mi sure, ma'am.
Kasi papulintihan ba na, oy? Okay,
Gampo
flash.
na sila.
Doon naman ang Oslo ug Santander.
Murag sunod na mao pila na lang ka kuan di ba?
Related rin na sila. Wala na sila kaila.
Ay, uso naman ron, ma'am. Dili mag-angkunay, uy, kay...
Bitaw. Kunya na mga dato na ang kuno na.
Correct. Sige. Do not forget to screenshot also. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're good. Congratulations, Watin Group.
Okay, congratulations
Thank you.
researchers, but we have to work
Thank you.
on the suggestions.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Sige.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.